1100. That's 265-1100.
There are a lot of reasons that you may choose to drive up to Blue Ridge as you watch our show this morning, but one of them just might be and ought to be the chance to have a world-class dining experience that you will never forget. We are here at Grace Restaurant, perhaps the newest restaurant to open in Blue Ridge, and the very proud creation of Brandon Lofton, his latest restaurant to open, Daniel Barron, who is the executive chef. So thanks for welcoming us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is gorgeous. It is from the minute you let me in the door, Brandon, I was bowled over by the beauty of this restaurant.
Thank you. Yeah, we early on with our conversations about what we wanted to achieve here, it was important that when people did walk into this restaurant, they had the same reaction you did. We wanted people to be blown away. We wanted people to not believe they were in Blue Ridge. When you say you're going to open a Prime Steakhouse, there's certain expectations that come with that, decor, the type of chef that you hire, the type of cuisine you serve, the wine list that you serve, and atmospherically, we really wanted to blow people out of the water.
You said something to me earlier about there being kind of a nostalgia. I think that was the word you used with the steakhouse. The nostalgia here is very true because both of your grandmothers are represented.
They sure are.
Grace was one of your grandmother's names.
That's right. Grace was one of my grandmothers, and then we actually have a custom knife club called the Celeste Society. We also have some homages to her on the menu, our oyster Celeste, and we have one of our cocktails named after my grandmother Celeste. But it was important for me to honor my grandmothers, and obviously the steakhouse is named after one of them.
So Daniel, he knew when he was going to open this that he couldn't do it without a world-class chef behind his world-class idea, and he snagged you from San Diego. Quite a resume you have.
Yeah, it was really an honor to come up here, get away from the city, and be a part of this. When he, first approached me about a year ago, I was just all in with the idea, and thought that I think we could really do something special, and I think we have put something together that's really special.
So as I'm understanding some of the things you're doing that are really special, it is a Prime Steakhouse, so steak is front and center. However, you do have a lot with seafood on the menu as well. But you kind of are a specialist, so much so that I think you've made a documentary about it on dry aging.
Yeah.
What is that?
Dry aging is it's a process that we use with a lot of our beef, and I have beef coming from all over the country. And it's just a process of controlling heat, temperature, humidity, lighting to be able to age beef in its own natural way. And it releases the muscle texture so that it gets tender. In layman's terms, it gets more delicious and more tender.
So is it like a wine will age? It appears that the beef is also aging before you prepare it. Is that
in the same way that wine kind of relaxes over time, beef does the same thing.
Okay.
We do ours for 45 days to 60 days here. I've done it for 500 days before.
What?
Yeah.
That was the documentary?
That was the documentary. We did 365 and then we went up to 500 just for funds.
So let's talk about the wines. The way the restaurant is set up, and everything in here is custom. The tables, custom done. The booths, custom done for your space. So your wines are not going to disappoint. You've got everything someone would expect, all high quality.
Yeah, I actually became a sommelier many years ago and have loved wine my entire career. It's always been a passion of mine. And when I put the wine list together, I don't want to say it's a typical and expected wine list, but in regards to a steakhouse and what you would come to expect, we cover all the very necessary regions from France to Italy to, of course, the big California wines and things that pair very, very well with our menu. It's a very thoughtful and very intentional wine list.
I want to talk about the space a little bit more because the longer I'm here, the more impressive this becomes to me. So here the three of us are sitting at this, what appears to be relatively small table floating in the room, plenty of room for a fourth person. These seats are so comfortable and they beckon you to stay and linger, which is what good food should do.
Sure.
The table is full. It's all the fine dining you would want, a glass for each need, the silverware that you need, and yet we are not crowded.
Nope.
That was quite an impressive feat to accomplish. Very, very nice.
Yeah, again, the devil is in the details. When you have enjoyed steakhouses, or if you had the opportunity to enjoy some of the world-class steakhouses in America, there are the things that you expect to see and the things that you have to see. And the wine glasses, the stems, all of our glassware, our steak knives, Damascus steel, everything that we did was, again, very intentional. And again, it's very, very important that when people come in here, they'll notice the atmosphere, they'll notice the food, but they will certainly notice the details as well.
Some of the details too you have not overlooked. I love the way the kitchen is visible as you're dining. The bar area is great, but you've also intentionally brought your Blue Ridge friends into the restaurant as well. So the Celeste Knife Club you mentioned, Bill Oyster of Oyster Bamboo has engraved those,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah.
You've got the beautiful artwork from Four Elements and George's outstanding art that he does. So Blue Ridge, the town, is represented here too.
We have a beautiful community here, and we all have each other's backs. We all support each other. We have something very special here, and obviously as more and more people come to Blue Ridge, there is a greater need for high-end amenities, and restaurants are one of them, and high-end artwork, obviously world-class bamboo building shops, and so we all work very well together. I'm very proud of those relationships, and it's nice to see that stuff in here.
I said at the beginning, there are plenty of reasons why someone might choose to leave Chattanooga, Ringgold, and drive up to Blue Ridge, and it could be just to take in your mountains and have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the riverbank, and that's great.
That's right.
But if you're wanting to come for a real opportunity to have a dining experience that you're providing here, and then stay and linger, that's a wonderful reason too.
We believe with what we have created here that this will be a drive-to destination. This will be worth the drive from Chattanooga, from Atlanta, parts of Atlanta, and several areas in North Georgia, just to drive here, just to experience the steakhouse.
It is lovely, but it will not feel intimidating at all.
Nope.
When you come in, you'll know that you're going to get a good meal. You can feel it the minute you walk in the door. You are taking reservations. You're dinner only.
That's correct.
Right? How do people make a reservation?
We use the same software app that we use at the Black Sheep, the other restaurant that we own. It's Resy.com. It's Open Table and Resy are the two biggest reservation players in the game. Very easy to use. So they can go to Resy.com. They can certainly call the restaurant. They can email on our website. Our website is graceprime.com. Very simple.
Very simple.
So any of those ways they can make a reservation with us.
And it's an unfair question to you, Daniel, because it's like asking a mother which is her favorite child. She'll say, I don't have a favorite child. But do you have a favorite on the menu?
From a technical perspective, I have two.
You have two?
I'm going to tell you both of them. I have a dry-aged tomahawk, and we wrap the tomahawk in cheesecloth. We soak the cheesecloth in Four Roses small batch bourbon, and then I dry-age that for 60 days, routinely re-moistening it with the Four Roses bourbon. The flavor that develops over the course of 60 days is like something you've never had before. And then when we present it, we pour melted beef fat and flambe it with more bourbon, carve it tableside off of a custom hanger that we built. It's pretty wild. It's an experience in its own. My other favorite dish is something that you're probably going to hear about from all over the place. It's a play on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a traditional steakhouse butter cake with a peanut butter cream cheese center, grape jelly ice cream, whipped cream, peanut butter sauce, and crushed peanut butter.
When I mentioned the peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the riverbank, I had no idea you were going to say
Immediately, I was
that.
like,
I thought
or
the
you
same
can
thing.
have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich here.
So I hear the reservation clicks happening right now from people at home. Congratulations on the opening. It is Grace Prime Steakhouse here in the beautiful Blue Ridge town of Georgia. We're back in just a minute.
The summer months are in full swing, which has a lot of homeowners thinking about replacing their windows. Hey everybody, I'm with BJ Words and the owner of West Shore Home to talk about how he's making sure